resisting. But anyhow, it's
Yeah.
not bad. I'm not sick from it, and I'm no fever. It's just red, and
So,
so
folks, we were talking about his leg injury, and I just forgot to hit record. So, so you don't remember how that occurred? It looked like you maybe had been riding a four wheeler and hit a tree or something.
no, I just on the hip itself. I woke up one morning, and I was always been healthy and hiking, and I just had a little catch in my hip, like everybody our age does. It's a shoulder, a back, something every morning. But
Sure.
by the end of a week, I couldn't hardly walk. So I went to the doctor, and he says, "You got to have it replaced." And I said, "Why?" I said, "I'm healthy, hiking in the hills." He said, "Doesn't matter." She just wore it out. So I went through that little deal, and the operation stuff was fine. I was allergic to that oxycodone stuff, and that kind of made me sick for a while. But
Yeah, that's some nasty stuff.
yeah,
Um,
but once I got up and got walking around, it's better now. I wouldn't have been able to walk anymore if I wouldn't have got it fixed.
well, I mean, I remember looking at your Facebook page. I saw the photos of the wound, and it's like, wow, that's some nasty stuff. You're lucky you're walking. I got to say that.
I've thing is, I've always been healthy and strong, my whole life. So I think that helps. I've never smoked or done a drug in my life.
Mhm.
Um, so I've always constantly hiking in the hills, and so I think that helps too. But
Well, you're in the territory for all that. I mean, that's some beautiful country. I mean, why wouldn't you want to hike?
oh, it's and I never realized what other people don't have till I
Mhm.
started posting on Facebook. We've got within 20 minutes, I got millions of acres of old growth forest, and guys, they'll tell me this, man, we got nothing here, or we can't go out, or it's all private land, and we don't have the rotten stumps you guys have. And it's funny, one guy says to me, he says, I bet you guys are just covered with ticks and jiggers when you're done.
Nope, nope,
I said, no, I
not.
don't know what a jigger is.
Yeah, not in Oregon.
No, last tick I seen was a couple of years ago, and we don't know what jiggers are. We don't have anything. A mosquito once in a while, and not even that bad of mosquitoes. So
So, where were you born and raised? So, what's your background?
right here, I'm I live within 20 miles of where I lived my whole life. We had a farm up in the upper hills, 80 acres farm, which nursery. I had nursery. I grew plants, and then a few years ago, we moved down here to just 5 acres, a lot smaller and easier to manage. And so about 2008, when the banks were all going broke and everybody, I couldn't sell any nursery plants, so I kind of retired from that. And I started playing around, had to do something, so I started messing around making bows. And I just kind of experimented and played with it, and you learn a lot of stuff, and
Well, let me
you
ask
always.
you. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. So, you've been into archery. I mean, for a while. Who taught you this? Who taught you this actual sport?
Well, I've been in probably 1967. I bought my first real bow,
Hmm.
a bear tiger cat, brand new, $19, and I've just been in archery ever since. Uh, I didn't start making bows till after 2008, but I made arrows up to that time. So, but with the YouTube and all that kind of stuff and Bingham's, and I I just kept playing with it and playing with it. Even though I ran around with Jim Brackenberry and Wes Wallace and Ron Fox, and we had a club, but when we had the club and running around with them, I wasn't into making bows, so I didn't really
Yeah,
question that too much.
you've rubbed some elbows with some pretty popular individuals.
Yeah,
Um,
well, we started an archery club here called the Lost Art, and it
okay.
started out with Norm Johnson and Blacktail Bows and Wes
Hmm.
Jim Brackenberry, Ron Fox. We had Dennis Campstra, the old timer off of the traditional Bowhunter
Oh yeah.
magazine.
Well, he lives in South Africa now, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. He used to live right here at Camas, just right over the river from us. So we
Mhm.
had all of us were in the club together, and um, we had used to have a good times. But then over the years, Fox moved to the other side of the state, and Brackenberry he left us, and so it's everybody the club after about 20 some years disbanded, and I always say I'm the last of the lost art bow hunters.
Mm.
So
I'm not going to argue that because, I mean, I see who you shoot with, and I see some of the. We have similar friends in that area. We'll get to
mhm.
that. We'll get to that. So, what made you get into bow building?
Well, I just wanted something to do. If I retired, you got to do something. I got to do something. So I just played around. The first 10 bows I made, I tell everybody I hid them in the closet. It's just and it's amazing. I imagine most guys that started out are the same way. The first bow I made, I thought was the neatest thing ever. I look at it now, and boy, it was pretty bad. But I still got it. I still got it. But I just kept doing it and experimenting with things and playing around with different. I always like to make a little different looking bow than just a piece of black walnut. So
Well, I would say you do that because, I mean, we're segueing into something else here. Um, I mean, you make bows. You have several different models that you make. Do you have names for these models?
well, I really don't. The shorter bows, 56-inch, I call a stumper bow,
Hmm.
kind of for stump shooting, and we named my last dog Stumper. So, but the regular longbows, I don't. It's just a standard longbow. Then they'll have the takedown recurve longbow. So that it's.
And the people have seen the pictures I put on, promoting this podcast, and
Mhm.
your bows are very different. I mean, I've been playing with bows, I've made bows, and I've never gone to the depths that you have.
Mhm.
I see you're using crazy woods. You're actually impregnating, using a clear, what's the word I'm looking for? An epoxy, if you will, with actual like Osage shavings and just crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Where did this come from? Was this something you've
Well,
always wanted to do?
well, when I first seen it, I seen a guy made knife scales. And he did the epoxy. He had some green moss in it. So I sent him a message. I said, "You think I could do that for?" And he said, "Well, I don't see why not." And then the guy that really kind of got it going is Mike Dryfout. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Mhm.
He's on Facebook. He started making them for us, and and then he kind of got out of it. But he made a few, and then I learned how to do it myself. That and the shavings. Now I put pine cones and sticks, and I'm still learning. This last one I put bear claws in it, and I found out because you got to use a deep pour epoxy, not a tabletop.
Okay.
Deep pour is like 2 inches. Well, it stays liquid for like 2 days. So I put these bear claws in there, and over the 2 days they kind of turned a little bit. So they didn't come out like I wanted them to. So I got to experiment a little bit more with that to get the bear claw to really show up. But I
Hmm.
put the moss, pine cone sticks in it. It's probably limited what you could do, except I tried one with obsidian arrowheads, and I found out you can't cut the obsidian and you can't sand it. It just I couldn't you couldn't work it. So I started making arrowheads out of cow horns and bones, and maybe putting some of them in there. I think that looked kind of neat. Um,
I mean,
but
they're just different. I mean, it's just different. I don't see that from any other bowyer. You're the only guy that I know that really works with that stuff.
yeah,
And
I've seen that Mike Roberts,
yeah,
the Sauk archer. He's doing a few of them, but he's kind of got away from it. But he still does a little bit of it. But
Yeah,
that and the
Mike
stable.
and I are good friends. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he was doing some for a while, and then the epoxy fill to, it's you get a nice burl piece of wood with knots and holes in it, and you fill that in with the epoxy, and that really makes a nice looking bow. So,
I mean, you're using colors, you're dyeing the epoxy, you're getting some really zany looking effects here, and I think that's cool as hell. I mean, to get
I
that, what are you
I
doing?
like
I
to have
mean,
something different.
mhm.
If you go to a 3D shoot and you see that bow over there and say, "Man, look at that guy's bow," I said, "Yeah, that looks pretty neat." Then I got into stabilizing the woods, which is really good too. That's a fun, because you never know what you're going to get. And stabilizing is you vacuum the epoxy into the block of wood, and then you
So
can
what?
add colors to it.
Well, let me ask you a question about stabilizing. So
Mhm.
you're obviously using a pressure chamber.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay.
vacuum chamber.
Okay, vacuum
Yeah,
chamber. So how does that
yeah.
work? Give our
Well,
listeners an idea how a vacuum chamber works.
okay. Well, you end up you get a tube, a container. I got a tube about 3 foot long, clear, and it's got a bottom, and then you got a lid on it, and you get the solution, and it's called cactus juice out of Texas. A guy makes it, and it's a 2 part epoxy resin. You put that in the container, then you put your block of wood in there. The block of wood's got to be dried. You got to have all the moisture out of it, and then you start vacuuming it till all the bubbles run out. And you'd be surprised; it'll take 2 to 3 days to get all the bubbles out. And then when you reintroduce the air back into it, it'll suck all that resin through the whole block. And then you bake it in an oven at 220 degrees for about 4 hours. But what is nice, you can do it clear, which looks really great, or you can add colors. You can do the greens and blues or whatever, and it'll
Mhm.
go almost through the whole block. Sometimes clear through, and sometimes it doesn't. But it looks good when it doesn't because it gives you a little bit of
Right.
a, a marbled look. And the hardest part is finding really nice wood that you can use. White wood, maple, sweet gum, poplar, those do the best. So luckily, I had a big maple fell in my yard, and we cut it up to 4 foot sections. It's 3 foot around. I left it lay out here in the yard for 2 years. Then we started cutting on it. Man, it gave me some nice, really nice wood. So it's really fun to do because you don't know what you're going to end up with until you do it.
Right. Well, that's the fun part, I think, about being a bowyer. I
Yeah,
know myself when I start screwing around and cutting into wood, I'm like, oh, what do we have here?
yeah, yeah.
It
What's
could,
inside?
yeah, it's like it's like a surprise. It's almost like a Cracker Jack box of information.
Yeah, and one of the things that I get somebody will see when I did, and it's all really grainy and wavy, and they said, "I want that," and I said, "Well, that was that one piece of wood." It's just I don't know what it's going to look like until I do it. I said, "I
Mhm.
can't guarantee you what it's going to come out like." But
Yeah, I can't guarantee Mother Nature's expression.
yeah, exactly. But it is fun to do, and it's fun to play with, and
How many
you can
years
add
have
all
you,
sorts of colors.
Al? How many years have you been making bows now? 40?
No, no, 2008.
Okay,
So it's that
well, it's a
17,
long
18
time.
years, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's a long time. But some of the
Yeah, and
bows, your bows are incredible. I mean, do you take custom orders, or are you just
oh
making them and
no,
selling them online?
well, I do custom orders, and I make when I'm don't have any to do, I'll make stock bows.
Okay.
And actually, making stock bows, which you probably understand this part, is a lot funner because you can make it the way you want it. You don't have to hit a weight or anything. You make it, if it
Mm.
comes out 45, it's 45. The custom bow, they'll want it 43 at 26 and a half. And So you got to play with that a little bit,
Yeah.
but I do make custom bows. I usually
Mhm.
have one going most of the time, but I try not to. I don't want to get so busy like some of these bowyers that are a year behind to 6 months. I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
I'm
One at a
retired.
time.
I want to hop in my trailer and go to a 3D shoot. So
So,
I have fun with it.
is there a name for your boat
Well,
or company?
I call traditional bows.
Okay.
Because I'm Al. They always called me traditional.
Hmm.
I mean, for years I used to have a license plate that said Trad Al. So they always called me traditional. So I just called traditional bows.
Okay.
Traditional
And,
bows.
and folks, you can find him on Facebook or Instagram. You're on Instagram too, right?
Well, I tried to go on it the other day, and I kind of worked at it. It took me a day or two to figure out how to put pictures. I put about 6 pictures. The next day, they kicked me off.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't know if they allow bows on there or not. I don't know, but
Yeah, they're weird. Uh,
yeah,
I mean, I look at a lot of weird stuff on Instagram. I just do mostly Facebook, um,
yeah,
for
that's what
the
I did.
social media thing.
I thought I'd try it because Andy Ponce of
Hmm.
Addictive Archery, he told me he says he doesn't do Facebook. He said that's what he does. And so I thought, well, maybe it'll reach a couple of people. Maybe I can get a couple of sales, but it must be the bows. You know, I, it just, boom, they just kicked me off.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's
And
wrong. Yeah, I social media is fickle. Uh, Unfortunately, that's the way a lot of us have to get our point across.
mhm.
Uh, and I'm not crazy about it, but it is what it is. Um,
Well, you've seen a lot of what I do.
oh my
I
God,
don't,
yeah.
I don't post any nasty or political.
No.
It's either bows, arrows, or us in the woods shooting.
Hmm.
Nothing. There's nothing wrong about that.
So let's talk about the stump shooting. What's
Hmm.
with the dog? Is that your dog?
Yeah, well, one of them is mine,
I
and one
love
of them
that
one of the
dog.
other guys got a dog. But I got the Sadie dog, which she's the best dog ever. But she's getting 10, 11 years old, and she
Hmm.
doesn't go with us as much. She goes at these shoots, but so I got a new one we named Stumper, and he's wilder than heck right now. But
How old?
but
How old? How old is Stumper?
year and a half.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah,
she's got
he's still a puppy.
he or she has another 2.5 years,
Yep,
maybe a year and a half to calm down.
yep. He just runs and runs, and he runs that poor other dog to death. He just plays with them, but they always keep us entertained, and so they're really good when they're shooting. All we got to do is say we're going to shoot, and they'll come back.
Hmm.
He'll come back, sit between my legs till I'm done, and then I'll say go ahead, and then he'll take off.
Yeah, awesome.
So
That's awesome. I love
yeah,
that camaraderie. Um, so that being said, I've noticed on your bows there's a thumb rest. Is
yeah.
where did you get that idea from?
Well, I just started doing it. And I don't do it to all of them, but lately I have been doing it quite a lot, and it gives you a little, at least for me, a little more of a palm area.
Okay.
For the palm when you're holding the bow, you got a little more of a palm area. It doesn't seem to slip and slide. A little better grip, and I think it gives it a look. So I started doing that just for the kick of it. But some people
So,
like it, some don't.
so this last bow that you made, I'm looking at it online. I mean, it's clear. Um, I guess I'm going to call it epoxy with some stuff in it. And
Hmm.
then you've got yew wood and Osage limb veneers, but with a
Yeah,
uh
kind of a S swirl.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
is that a hard thing to make?
Well, yes and no. If it goes together just right, it's pretty simple. You just have to cut it in both pieces and put it together. You just
Mhm.
want it to fit together tight so you don't have little gaps. And you just lay it out and clamp it all up and let it dry. You do a big piece. You don't do you do like a inch and a half by 2 inch block of wood.
Okay.
Then you set it up, and then you just after it's dried, then you just cut it out to your tapers or whatever you want after that. It's hard, but it isn't. But you'd have to do a few of them to get the hang of it.
So let me ask you, what's your favorite wood to work with, and what's your least favorite to work with?
Well, Purple Heart's my least. It
Okay.
just burns. It burns constantly and hard to sand. Yew wood or spalted maple and stuff are really nice to work with. And zebra wood's nice too. But,
Well, living in the Pacific Northwest, I would imagine yew wood is readily available or not.
well, it is if you can get it. The Forest Service will give you a permit to get one a year. But if you can, if you got some neighbors that have it on their land and stuff, it's sometimes you get it. The hardest part is getting something that's nice. It's a weird tree. It grows crooked and twisty and limby. You think you like get a good piece and you bring it home and you cut it in half and the inside's hollow. It just, but it is here. I mean, there's a lot of it here. That and fine maple.
Now, I've seen pictures of you with these giant logs. Is that you?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That is amazing. I mean, just wow. Because I personally, yew wood is my personal favorite for limbwood,
Hmm.
especially in a longbow.
It's very pretty wood.
It's
Pretty wood.
beautiful. I would never want to have clear glass over
Hmm.
that wood. It's just amazing wood.
It is very tight grain. Very slow growing. It just when you find it, you got to take your hand and knock the moss on off of it, and some of the bark. You can kind of look at it. And you can see if it's twisted or not. If it's, you can tell if it's growing twisty, and so it depends. If you want a self bow out of it or laminations. That's the self bow. You're gonna have to really look to find a good straight piece.
So, do you have any nightmare builds in your past that you want to talk about?
Everybody does, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've made a few mistakes. I always think, why did I do that? And why did that? Or which you realize, you put 6 or 7 pieces of lamination and glue them up, put them in the hot box, and bring it out. And actually, I just did one with making one for a guy, a green one, and I was just sanding the limbs. It was all done. I was thinking how nice it came, and there's 2 spots on the limb, looked like your thumbprint. It's just where it's delaminating. So
Oh, jeez.
I took and cut the limbs off, cleaned the riser up, and reused the riser, made them another one with different limbs. But it happens. I mean, all bowyers have that something that just doesn't work right. So it's a pain, to get them out perfect and get a good finish on them. That's
Yeah, that's the truth.
the hard part is the finishing.
So let's talk about finishes. What do you like to use?
Well, right now I'm using the blacktail finish,
Okay. What do you think
and
about it? What do you think about it? Because I mean, Fuller Plus has been around forever. There's oh
it's
shit.
Thunderbird.
Yeah,
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird, which I'm not crazy about, but that's because I don't use it. There's not a lot of use for it in what I do.
Yeah. Well, the Thunderbird, I used it for a while, but for me, it tended to amber a little bit.
Hmm.
It wasn't bright. If you do on white and stuff, it wasn't real white. The blacktail bow finish stays real clear, and it doesn't mess up your gun as bad. It's a little expensive, and I'm sure they don't make it, but they won't tell you what it is. I could probably buy it locally by the gallon here, but it works really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Fuller Plus, and
let me ask you about Thunderbird. Is Thunderbird an epoxy or is it a urethane?
well, I not couldn't tell you exactly.
Okay.
I know you got to mix the 2 parts. You got to let it sit for half an hour. and
How
then
do you
spray.
do you mix it 50-50?
Well, if my memory serves, it's been 4 or 5 years. Um, it might be. It's been a while since I used it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I know the blacktail is 50-50, and
It's well, that's how the Thunderbird is. It's 50-50. So
mhm.
it tells me that it's almost like a not a urethane, but it uses as far as a thinner is concerned, is MEK, which is a highly carcinogenic thinner.
Yeah,
Not the greatest thing to be exposed to.
yeah.
So I used to
I
paint
know you had to
I
buy
used
it.
to paint helicopters back in the day, and that's what
Hmm.
we used, and that was some dangerous stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know the finishes are the Thunderbird had a special thinner that you had to get. You couldn't just use
Yeah.
any thinner, so it was a special thinner.
Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, it's called MEK, methyl blah blah blah, but that's the thinner you can buy, and you don't need to buy their specific thinner.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just here to tell you because I know, because I spray and I paint. I've painted cars, I've painted helicopters, and yeah, there's nothing I don't know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like
so
I
if
was saying
you,
about the blacktail finish, I know they can it up and resell it, but
yeah, of
you know
course,
they're not making it, but they won't tell you exactly what it is.
and I'm not taking
Nor
anything
don't
away.
either.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from these people, but science is science. So,
Hmm.
just letting you know. Um,
Well, I was saying Norm told me, he said he looked around, trying to find the best finish he could find, and it's what he came up with. He wouldn't tell me what it was, but he did tell me how to use it.
mhm.
You know,
I'll see
it's
Norm
great.
in a couple of months. I'll be in PBS banquet in a
Hmm.
couple of months, so I'm gonna get Norm. I'm gonna corral him.
Yeah,
Norm
yeah,
Johnson,
he's
people.
a good guy. He's a
Oh
good
yeah,
guy.
absolutely, absolutely. So let's switch gears and talk about your stump shooting.
Hmm.
I followed you for years on Facebook, and you are a stump shooting fool. You and your
Yeah,
buddies. So
yeah. Every
I mean,
Sunday we go.
you guys have some great stumps. I mean, old growth, dead, cut trees, stumps. I could imagine when you shoot into a stump, when you pull the arrow out, it still has to smell good.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun. We usually use steel blunts, but you could use field points if you want. Every once in a while they get stuck, but and we just it's the best practice for hunting.
Hmm.
Our style of hunting. You're walking through the woods and you don't know the distance, you don't know the yardage, you uphill, downhill, you just got to take the shot. And we love to stick arrows in the top of a snag.
Yep.
Someone challenged me to hit a snag, I'd say, look out. Actually, we did it last Sunday, and the guy commented on Facebook, said, well, how do you find your arrows? And I said, we don't worry about
No.
them.
Yeah.
We lose the arrows. We shoot mostly wood arrows. And I have a Dowling machine, and I make my own. And then I also get a lot from Carson Brown as Sherwood chaps. He gives me some woods, and so that's what we shoot. I have been shooting a little bit of carbon. A guy in Seattle gifted me some carbon arrows with lighted nocks. And I
Ooh.
know lighted nocks aren't traditional, but you get in the dark woods, those things look neater than heck shooting through the woods.
Yeah, I'm using
You
lighted
know.
nocks when I hunt lately, only because I think it's fun. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, I've been bow hunting almost 50 years, so I want as much fun as I could possibly have.
Yeah. Well, to see that lighted knock go through the dark woods, it's just like a little laser out there.
Yeah.
Choom.
So talk to me
So,
about the dog. What's the dog's name? How old is it?
well, Stumper dog is a year and a half, and then
Okay.
Sadie dog, but she was the little black one, and she was half pit bull, half border collie, and
Wow, what a
she,
combo.
was- yeah, she was a smart one,
Hmm.
but we have fun. They love to run. They love to go to the woods and shoot with us, and it's
Yeah, my dog is part border collie. No, it's part German short-haired pointer, English Staffordshire whatever, which is pit bull, and
Hmm.
black lab. So it's a three mix. She's 13 and she's 10. She's like 3 years old. She's crazy. But
Hmm.
when I shoot archery in the backyard, oh, she gets crazy. She's like, she wants to chase the arrows, so I have to keep her, on a leash. Can't do that, but yeah, it's funny. She sees me grab my bow, and she's like right there.
Yeah. Well, that's Sadie and Stumper both learned it. I mean, they learned quick within 10 shots.
Hmm.
I'd bring them, they'd run to chase the arrow. I'd bring them back and have them sit down at my feet, and we'd all shoot. And then I'd say, go ahead. And then they'll run up there and they won't get the arrows, which we kind of didn't want them to do it because they have sharp teeth. But they run out and play. But all I got to do is say,
Right.
we're going to shoot. And they'll come right back to us and sit there and wait till we're done. So it's fun.
So
Yeah.
you and I have mutual friends, even though you live on the other side of the United States. I'm in
Mhm.
Florida. You're in Oregon. But I'm gonna drop some names here. Uh, Steve Gore,
Mhm.
Nancy Duran,
Yeah.
um, Gene Hopkins.
Hmm.
Uh, what else did I forget? I
Ted
mean,
Fry.
Ted Fry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have rubbed elbows. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, Ted Fry, he just lives over the Cascade Mountain from me. And Steve Gore, he lives up more. He's in Washington, up by Canada. So we get together on 3D shoots
Mm-hmm.
mostly. If I don't know if you ever watch his movies he made. He made two really great movies. But the stump shooting and stuff, I know if we lived closer together, we'd be out stump shooting every Sunday with us.
Yeah, he sent me copies of his DVD.
Yeah, he sent me a whole case of them in the case. He said, taken at the 3D shoots, so I started giving them as raffle prizes to the 3D shoots because they're just great movies to me. They're just,
Oh yeah.
they're stump shooting out there and they're playing in the woods just like we do. He swims in the creek. And then there's Wyoming antelope and deer hunting in Wyoming. It's just amazing. I wish he was still doing it because I'd head down there and try to get a nice buck. But
Are you still hunting now?
well, I try to. Yeah, I got the deer this year,
Because
and
I look in your shop and the pictures of your shop, you got a ton of antlers and skulls and shed antlers. Do
yeah.
you spend a lot of time shed hunting?
Well, I do that when we're stump shooting.
Okay.
When we go stump shooting, we'll just pick a different area, and the deer herds are really down now. We don't see near as many deer as we do. There used to be 6, 7, 8 antlers every Sunday.
Okay.
Not new ones, some old ones and fresh ones. And lately, it's really gone down. But we
Mhm.
picked up a lot of sheds over the years, quite a
Yeah.
few of them.
Yeah, that I've seen
It,
for sure. For
it's just
sure.
part of stump shooting.
Now, the deer in your area, are those considered blacktail, Columbia blacktails?
Yeah, they're
Or,
black
yeah.
bears.
Okay. Yeah, they're nice
Yeah,
deer. Tasty little critters.
yeah, they're real nice. They got nice grass here to eat on and leaves, and they aren't eating no sagebrush and stuff. So makes them a nice deer. But the count's way down. It's just not like it used to be. I don't know if it's. I think it's the bears who learn to get the babies.
Hmm.
And they're getting a lot of the deer. There's mountain lions and the wolves. Wolves are starting to get into this area now too. So that's it's another great thing.
So back to our old mutual friends, Fred Anderson. When was the last time you saw Fred?
Well, probably about 7, 8 years ago at a 3D shoot.
Okay.
After the last time I've been going to ask Steve about because Fred's getting pretty old. I
Oh,
mean,
Fred's 90 something years old.
yeah. So I haven't really seen him for a long time, but Steve goes to all the shoots up there, but Fred, I'd seen him at the shoot, but I haven't seen him in years,
Okay.
so I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure he's just getting where he can't get around as much.
Yeah, I've got his phone number and I got to reach out to him, see what happens. I know
Hmm.
he's technically challenged, I guarantee it.
Hmm.
So, his interview with me would probably have to be on a phone call of sorts.
Yeah.
So for, traditional archery, uh, how do you feel? Is it growing? Is it stalling? What's going on?
Well, it seems like around here it's getting less and less.
Hmm.
The 3D shoots, even the longbow safari, which used to be a big shoot, North American longbow safari.
Right.
You used to go in Montana several. Last year it was in Washington, and there was maybe 50 people, and that's all that showed up.
Yeah.
And
That's
some of the shoots, we don't get the shoots like they do back east. If we get 100 people, it's a pretty good shoot.
so if
One of my
people want,
Facebook.
yeah, I understand. I've seen that and I've heard that from a couple of guys that live out that way. Um, Now, for you selling your bows a la carte, how come people get a hold of you?
Well, the best way I always tell them is on Facebook.
Hmm.
Just message me on Facebook, and I'll answer any questions. I used to have a website when I first started, and it wasn't doing anything for me, but costing me money.
Hmm.
And everybody said, "Do you have Facebook?" So I always tell them, just go on Facebook. You can go to my Facebook page. All the bows are on there. There's nothing on there except bows and shooting,
Hmm.
and a picture of a dog, and that's it. There's nothing on there. Just
Oh, do,
scroll down, you can see the bows, and
do
if you have
you,
any
do you,
questions,
do you
just
mind if I
message me.
promote your bows?
Oh, I'd appreciate it. I could use a sale now and then. So
I told you guys I had a sinus infection. Here it comes.
yeah,
At any rate, so Facebook is the way to get a hold of you. What's in
yeah.
store for you for 2026? Any new designs? Um, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm going to be doing like I said with the epoxies. I'm going to be playing around more with that. I want to make one with some broadheads in it.
Hmm.
Not really obsidian Indian type arrowheads, but not obsidian because that didn't work. But
Hmm.
make some out of bone and cow horn. And you can make them look really good. So you got to have something that I can cut because it's hard to when you put it in the form and you put everything in there. It's hard to know where everything's going to end up when you get done.
Oh yeah.
You start cutting out your sight window, or you just cut out a bear claw they wanted to see. So,
Yeah.
so it's that and me learning where to put them to try to get them in the right spot.
Yeah.
Like I said, the material's thick. It's like an inch and a half thick, but it's liquid for a couple of days. And I
Yes.
put the
Yes.
moss and sticks and moss stick pine cones in it. They keep floating to the surface. So I'll go every couple hours and push them down. About the second day, it'll start really getting firm, like honey, and then I can push the stuff where I want it.
Okay.
So, but
That's
I want
awesome.
to play with the epoxies more and stabilizing. And I cut down we cut down a big sweet gum tree here, which is white like a maple. And I took a 4 foot section of it, like 2 foot around, and I put it in a big wash tub and I stood it on end. And then I filled the wash tub with green dye. and
Hmm. How'd
I
that
don't know if
turn
it's
out?
going to work or
How'd that
not.
turn out? Oh, okay. We're still
I'm gonna leave it in there till summer.
it's an experiment in
It's
progress.
an experiment. I thought, well, if it'll draw some of that green stuff up into it, and if it goes to the hard grain and soft grain, it'll variation to wood colors. I'm
Awesome.
hoping. It,
Well,
it may not be anything.
I will pray with you.
Yeah, I
So
just
I appreciate that. That's fantastic. So Al, I want to thank you. We're coming down to the end of here, and this was really painless. I would imagine just two guys
yeah,
talking.
yeah. It
Uh,
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I had a good time, and I really appreciate you sharing stuff with me and helping. And
Oh,
maybe it helped me get a
man,
couple of
it's
sales.
just it is what it is. I'm just so glad I got you on here. We shared the love, talked about your bows, the stuff that you're making. You're making some incredible stuff, and it's actually scary if you really want to look at it. Uh, you're very creative, and I don't see a lot of that with bowyers today.
Yeah. Well, I just had them always wanted to do something different. I don't know if you know John Strunk,
Oh, you know John,
self
don't
bow
you?
maker. Yeah, but when he seen my Osage epoxy bow, he couldn't believe it. He looked at that thing. What is that?
Yeah, I have a John Strunk long a self bow actually. It's
Hmm.
backed with rawhide and rattlesnake skin. Timber, not timber. Um, that blue rattlesnake from the west. Oh, what the hell are they called? They're actually kind of cool.
Hmm.
Anyway, at any rate, I've had that bow for 30 years.
Hmm.
It still shoots great. It's 65 pounds, a little heavy for me, but it's fun to
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah, John
Yeah.
Strunk's an incredible guy. Another guy that I need to get on here, but I don't know how well versed he is with modern technology, but we'll get there.
Well, you got me, which
If
I'm
I can
about as
get
bad
you,
as can be.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, Al, thank you so much on behalf of the Drop Time Traditions podcast. Folks, if you like this episode, any episode, please subscribe and like on YouTube. And I wish you all the best. Have a fantastic 2026. And we're done, brother.
Okay. Well, thanks. I really appreciate being on here and getting to meet you in not really in person, but I can
Uh,
see your face.
yep, absolutely. Thanks, Al. Have a great night. Take care.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
bye.